Want to get back to that breaking news from overseas. South Korean military now confirming that North Korea has fired a missile eastward from their capital. Dow Jones citing Japanese media NHK and reporting that the missile in fact passed over Japan. Fred Fleitz is a former CIA analyst who's currently with the Center for Security Policy and he joins us now on the phone. Fred, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
All right, so this morning we got some rhetoric out of North Korea. They vowed to, quote, sink Japan for dancing to the United States tune and to reduce the United States to ash and darkness. We're becoming accustomed to this sort of daily rhetoric from them, but they backed it up to a degree with this missile launch. A clear provocation, a clear thumbing their nose, not just at the United States, but the United Nations as well. So what's the next move? Fred, can you hear me?
I'm still here. Charles, this is extremely provocative. This is something that Japan is simply not going to tolerate. They're worried these missiles could hit Japan. North Korea is probably going to say, well, we shot it over the island of Hokkaido, reportedly, which is basically very sparsely populated. But this is a major provocation. And I think that this is really leading us much closer to the day when the United States and its allies are going to have to consider military action, maybe taking these missiles out on the ground. Right. This is something the international community can't tolerate.
Speaking of the international community and our allies, the United Nations forced a watered-down version of what President Trump wanted. Should this get their attention? Do we go back to the human once again and say, guys, without a serious sanction that stops all crude oil, without serious sanctions that stops all trade, particularly from China, North Korea will not heed the warnings of the rest of the world?
Well, there are many who are criticizing the Trump administration for accepting a watered-down resolution, but I'm not one of them. What I think was going on here is that President Trump is going through the motions of normal reactions to these North Korean provocations before he considers drastic economic sanctions or military action. And the president even said that. He didn't think these sanctions were a big deal, but he's basically checking that box before he ratchets up the pressure. And that's crucial to keeping our allies in the region on board.
Fred Fleitz, thank you very much for jumping in on short notice. We appreciate it.
Good to be here.